Is this the easiest top in the world? Yes, it is. And if it's your first tee, do this one. It's a dolman tee, otherwise known as a batwing tee, because you see that side seam just goes straight up into the sleeve. There's no inset sleeves. Easy. So find a top in your wardrobe that looks like this, and I'm sure you've got one. It's a common design, very easy. And what you're going to do is you don't even have to finish the neckline. Okay, we'll give you an option to do that at the end as well, but you can leave it raw. In fact, this shirt, I've got it raw and jersey doesn't fray. So this is your easiest tee in the world. Let's have a look at how we do it. So we're going to find the middle point at the top, middle point at the back, and then we're just going to trace around it. Okay, light, nice and flat, and just trace out all the edges. Okay, now I'm going to put the center point in with my ruler. I've just ruled down from the center point at the back, center point to the back of the hem, and I'm just cutting that out now. That's it. That's a clone, okay? And now we're going to do the front, same again, but this time I put it in half. The t-shirt is in half. Again, I'm using a ruler just to make that center front fold. Okay, nice and straight. And then trace around everything else. Now the back of my t-shirt is a little bit longer than my front, so I'm just going to lift that up to make sure that I'm doing the front hem, not the back. And otherwise, I'm just tracing the shape. There it is. Okay, now it comes to truing. So truing means we make sure that we walk the seams around to make sure they meet up. Do it at the shoulder and on the side seam. There are only 2 seams. And trim if there's anything that you need to trim up. Okay, we're happy with our clone now. Let's get to the cutting. Cutting, you're going to have to add some seam allowance to your shoulder, some hem allowance to your arm, and some seam allowance to the side, and some hem allowance to the hem. I didn't put any seam allowance at the neckline because you're either going to bind it or not, but you don't need seam allowance. All right, moving on to the back. Same again. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. It's just cutting out your shape. It's nice and easy because they're pretty long, sweeping kinds of curves and lines. So put your allowances in when you need to, you don't in the neckline. All right, and we have cut our t-shirt. We've put a fold in the fabric as well for the center front and center back folds. Let's go sew it up. Now I'm sewing on an overlocker. I'm going to do the shoulder seams first. If you are on a sewing machine, you can totally do this. You would be doing a narrow zigzag for all your seams. So I'm just doing the shoulder seam, and it does pay to peg or pin all your seams. We've got the right sides together, it's pinned, and that will help things travel at the same rate. Okay, you don't want one side to be traveling at a faster side than maybe the top side. All right, I've always done my shoulder seam. Remember, you've got 2. So go ahead and do your second one. There we go. Snippety snip. And it just looks like that. There's nothing remarkable about it. You'll have a zigzag if you're on the machine with your seam allowance, okay? Now I'm going over to the side seam. Side seam sweeps down the armhole, okay? So that's just a long seam, very easy. Zigzag if you're on the sewing machine, narrow zigzag, and make sure you've allowed your seam allowance. You're sewing along the line that you've allowed for your seam allowance. Now, neckline. This is an option. You can bind your neckline. Okay, so you just cut yourself some strips of binding. If you want to have a gentle, slower pace of this, there is a video in the top right corner for you which breaks down binding for necklines and armholes and all sorts of stretchy things, okay? It's the same material I've used for my top. And all I'm doing is putting a bit of stretch into the binding piece that's underneath. And then the t-shirt, I'm just trying to make sure my seam gets folded and flat there, seam allowance. Okay, I'm putting a bit of stretch into the binding, which is underneath, and the t-shirt itself puddles on top with no stretch. When we come to sizing it, because we just did really long rectangles of fabric, I've sized it up now, estimated how much I needed to close the gap, and that's my join. And you can see I've got a little bit of stretch factor that I've got to put into the binding to close up that gap. So we go back into it, put the teeth of the needles into the train tracks, and just keep on going closing up that gap along the neckline. And at the end, I will also do a little bit over the edge or over the existing train tracks. Okay, so almost finished there, making sure any seams lie the right way. Chaining off, and this is what it's looking like. Now, I've noticed that I've put it on back or front. Okay, so what happens with binding is that we fold and then we fold over the seam allowance. And what you can see is that I want to sew this from the front, but that seam is showing me it's the back. So put it on the wrong way. Go back to that video and do it the easy way. This is going to be the hard way, and I'm going to show you how to do it, because if you make this mistake, you might be in the same situation, not facing, unpicking, okay? Couldn't do it. So I've ironed in. These are wee tiny little folds, and I'm going to fold it over that seam allowance with generosity, okay? Because I'm going to be doing this blind. I will sew from the front to make sure everything is neat. So clip in that little fold, that generous fold over the seam allowance, and we've ironed in this tiny wee fold there all the way around, okay? Big, nice, generous fold over the seam allowance. And what that's going to do is it's going to ensure that when we come to sew it from the front, we're going to be catching this. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. You've got to go around the whole neckline. Here it is from the front, and see that ledge? That ledge there is the back piece. So I know if I stitch along here, I'm going to be catching it. I'm all going to be safe. Now, the join line, if you stitched in the join line, it would be called stitching in the ditch. But I'm not. I'm going to be stitching just along there. And the reason is I've got this fold, I want to catch it. And if I were to stitch in the ditch, most people stitching in the ditch, which is that, along that join line, they don't have that extra fold on the underside. They just leave it raw and flat, and that's easier to do, okay? But I want everything tucked up and neat, okay? So I'm making sure that my line of stitching is super, super straight, because this is the front. I want everything to look like it's intentional. This was not a mistake. This is intentional, and it's going to look perfect. Now, if you need some help with how to sew straight, just check that video in the top right corner. So I'm using my presser foot and making sure I keep it in the same alignment with the edge of my material. That's all I'm doing. And I'm sewing all the way around, making sure that it is straight, because I want it to be good, on the good side, the one that faces the world. Okay, so I'll get around that. Let's have a check at some point. Okay, remove your pegs and remove your pins. Keep on going, be straight, but you will need to check. Okay, I'm going to have a check. Am I catching it? That's the first thing. Okay, well, it's straight, that's nice. It's looking good from the front. Flipping it over, we got to go, did I catch it? Or is anything, caught it, nice. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's wiggly. This is the wrong side. As long as it's caught, that's what we want. Because we can't see on the underneath. That's why we're sewing from the front. That one will be straight. Okay, keep on going. Nice and attention high for this job. This is the back I'm showing you. So you can see there's kind of unevenness and wiggles, but I'm checking that it's all caught. Now there's this tiny, tiny little 1 centimeter gap that didn't get caught. I am not going to worry about that, okay? Remember, jersey doesn't fray, so this is not going to be a big deal at all. Yes, I caught that. That was a tricky bit because I had some seams to go over. And so it's all looking pretty good from the back. Now let's look at it from the front. This has to be perfect. Nice straight line of stitching. Nice, yeah, it's looking pretty good. This is what you want. And the consistency of that binding fold is the same as well as the straightness of that stitch. Okay, so we've rescued this. If you accidentally put your binding on the wrong way, here's how you rescue it. Let's get on to the hemming. Now the hemming, there's lots of ways of doing it. I've ironed my hem in because I'm going to be doing a twin needle hem. Stretch twin needle hem. Now there is a video in the top right if you need to go through this nice and gently, okay? So stab in my needles, making sure that I am catching my folded up hem, because once again I'm sewing blind here. Okay, it's folded underneath and I'm sewing from the right side. And just make sure you tuck your tails behind your foot as well, otherwise I'd end up with birds' nests. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Sort it all out. Around you go. This is the hem of the armhole, so it's a little bit close and narrow, a little bit of turning with this fabric to get there. What I do want to show you, I think I'm going to show you in this piece, is that when I get to the, there is one seam. Here we go. I've clipped it. Now I didn't clip all the way through. There's one line of stitching that is intact, but I want to reduce the bulk. So I'm going to fold that one down there, that one that way, and fold it down. So I've split the bulk. And that is something I've discovered works a lot better with my twin needle hems, okay? If I split the bulk of any seams I'm crossing that I'm hemming, it just works beautifully. All right, so I've finished the hem. That's what it looks like, twin needle hem. If you want other options, okay, another video, top right corner, easy sewing machine, stretchy options for hems, okay? Look how this one stretches, beautiful. You got to go and do it again for your hem of your shirt. Okay, this is just what it looks like from the outside. The underneath will be a little zigzag. And you'll end up with a top, a nice slouchy comfy top. Okay, wear it however you like, enjoy it. I've been just reaching for this over and over and over again. Enjoy your slouchy top. Wear it however you like. Loungewear extraordinaire. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Make the easiest top in the world. Go for it. You can do it. Remember, it's only 2 seams and some hems and maybe a neckline if you want. Now, if you don't do the neckline, okay, if you're just going to leave the edges of your zigzag or your serging of your seams, you're not covering them up with a neckline binding, then you will need to finish those. So if you're on the sewing machine, you know you do a back stitch to start and end, so you're safe. If you're on an overlock or a serger, then you should go to the, well, I like to go to the sewing machine and I like to just do a little bit of zigzag over the edge of that start and at the end. Okay, and that stops it unraveling. It's perfect. Enjoy your comfy life. I will see you next time.